Hello and welcome to Newsfeed on Trust TV. I am Sumaya Abubakar, taking you through the stories trending online that people are talking about and sharing around the globe today. Emefiele opted for plea bargain in alleged 6.69 billion naira fraud case. Lagos to Abuja flight ticket could cost 250,000 naira, airline operators say. Wike bans stir trading in FCT, accuses corn sellers and street hawkers of fueling crime. I am unsurprised U.S. President Joe Biden reacts to Wagner leader Prigozhin's alleged death after plane crash. On top of what's trending today, we have the suspended governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has reportedly opted for plea bargain. The Nation reports that as part of the out-of-court settlement terms, Emefiele will forfeit any illicit funds and questionable assets traced to him. It is, however, not certain if any illicit fund has been linked to him yet. The report adds that Emefiele will also step aside as the CBN governor to enable the government to appoint a substantive holder. It was also gathered that Emefiele and his relations will withdraw all matters in court. On Wednesday, August 23rd, an Abuja court struck out a suit filed by the embattled CBN governor challenging his detention. His siblings, George and Okanta, withdrew the two suits filed against the Department of State Service, the DSS, and the Attorney General of the Federation. Some highly placed Nigerians were said to have interceded for Emefiele to have government accept the plea bargain offer. The turn of events on his trial was said to have both legal and political tones to avoid anything which may have negative impact on the economic agenda of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Emefiele is standing trial for alleged violation of the procurement law to the tune of 6.9 billion naira. A source was quoted as saying Emefiele was worried about the likely dragging of his trial for years as members of his family weighed all options and settled for plea bargain. They added that the federal government's legal team and Emefiele's lawyer were perfecting the terms of the settlement. A netizen commented, Emefiele was working for them all. This is just to deceive Nigerians. He will still go free. Nigeria politicians always doing the more you look, the less you see. Another said, I really want to know where this case has gotten to. To be very honest, it's better to set a rule in this country that condemns corruption. Someone else said, only if they know how much Emefiele has stashed up, 6.9 billion naira is child's play. Next on what's trending, we have the spokesperson for the airline operators of the Nigerian and chairman of United Nigerian Airlines, Obiora Okonkwo, has said that with the increase in cost of operations, an air ticket from Lagos to Abuja could cost 250,000 naira. While speaking in an interview with Arise TV, Okonkwo said, if you think tickets are expensive, then you probably don't appreciate the sacrifice made by local operators. If we have to charge the fares, the way the costs are increasing every day, we should be paying not less than 250,000 naira from Lagos to Abuja. Okonkwo, who doubles as the chairman of United Nigerian Airlines, highlighted the urgent need for local airlines to access a foreign exchange through a designated window facilitated by the Central Bank of Nigeria. He expressed concerns over the unjustifiable cost of living of aviation fuel, attributing the excess charges to speculative practices. He called on the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to play its part in stabilizing the industry by curbing these practices. A netizen said, my grandfather trekked from Lagos to Benin and nothing happened to him. Fit fam, shall we? A guy opined, God is good motto, sipping their tea at the moment. It's about to be business for them. A lady said, why should a domestic flight cost $250,000? Domestic flights are cheap abroad. Ticket money is even the last thing you would think of. So what's up with Nigerians? Next on what's trending, we have a Minister of Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, who has banned street trading within Abuja. Wike, who issued the ban while addressing the leadership teams of the Federal Capital Territory Administration and Federal Capital Development Authorities, the FCDA, said it became necessary because corn sellers and street hawkers contribute to the insecurity and criminal activities in the nation's capital. He said the important thing we must do is to ensure that Abuja is back to what it ought to be. I moved around Abuja and found out there is total darkness in most of the places. What we need to do is to ensure light comes back as soon as possible. If you're in charge of sanitations, we will call you at any time of the day. We shouldn't allow motor parks all over the places. and something must be done as soon as possible. If you cannot meet up my standard, say it now so that we can change it. He added, street trading is prohibited. People selling corn will drop their waste indiscriminately, and these are the things that cause insecurity. Criminals come to buy and use the opportunity to spy and give information to criminals. It is imperative that we clear street hawkers. Development control is a serious crisis area we have to stop. Why are there illegal structures and shanties everywhere? We will demolish any illegal structures, no matter how highly placed. The structure will come down, he emphasized. A netizen commented, imagine making a down payment for roasted corn and boom, they banned it. Someone said, while you take reckless actions, hope that you know is also a means of fueling crime by giving traders no option. A guy wrote, we truly need sanity in the FCT. Next on What's Trending, we have an 11-member panel constituted by the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association to investigate the death of medical doctor Beore Diaso in an elevator at the General Hospital, Lagos Island, has submitted its findings. Recall that Diaso died from injuries she sustained after the elevator she was in fell from the 10th floor of the building. The panel, comprising of independent committee of doctors, lawyers and engineers chaired by Sahid Babajide, said in its report published on Wednesday, August 23rd, that the elevator was unfit for use and ought not to have been put to use to avoid endangering lives. The panel, which noted that staff of the hospital they interviewed revealed that the 2 lift systems in the building were not operating satisfactorily for a long time, also pointed out that there is no verifiable maintenance structure or apparatus for the use of the lift installed at the facility. The panel, which also disclosed that professional excellence was not applied in the provision of the lift system in the building, further affirmed that there was a delay in rescuing the injured late doctor, while the estimated time spent in the car after the accident was about an hour. The report added routine safety drills should be conducted by safety officers for all staffs. A netizen said, something that killed someone, how were you expecting it to be fit? Another said, I was expecting the administrator and board members to resign over her death. It shows how careless our system is. No respect for life. Another person said, and the students and staff of the hospital have complained about it several times over the years to the maintenance department or personnel, and it was all ignored. A sad one there. Now let's take a short break, and when we come back, you will see what happened in Abuja. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's Newsfeed. Now, rescue crews were searching for survivors on Thursday, August 24th, after a building collapse in Nigeria's capital left 2 people dead while many others were injured, emergency officials said. The 2-story building in the densely populated Garki district of the capital, Abuja, collapsed during a downpour late Wednesday, witnesses said. It served both as a shopping center and a residential block, and some of those trapped were believed to be shoppers. Nkechi Issa, spokeswoman for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, in the city, said 37 people have so far been pulled alive from the rubble. She said the rescue efforts would continue until the rubble has been searched. Crews used an excavator and a bulldozer to clear away debris in search of survivors. A large crowd of people who gathered on the streets where the building had stood cheered as crews pulled out survivors, while others awaited news about their missing relatives. Building collapses are becoming rampant in Africa's most populous country, with more than a dozen of such failures recorded in the last year, including earlier in August when a mosque collapsed in the northwestern Kaduna state, killing 7 people. Authorities often blame such disasters on a failure by officials to enforce building safety regulations and on poor maintenance. A netizen opined, Wike now has something to hold onto with his new demolition scheme. The majority of houses in Nigeria require renovation and there is no maintenance culture. A guy wrote, "Some of the houses in Nigeria are very old and you can see the crack on the walls, but instead of renovation, the owner will be busy collecting money." Someone added, "The issue of buildings collapsing shouldn't be taken with levity. Let them trace those civil engineers and put them to book." Next on What's Trending, we have Burna Boy, who said that 90% of Nigerian and Afrobeat songs lack real-life experience and substance. Take a look.
Not even experience, because 90% of them have almost no real-life experiences that they can understand, which is why you hear most of Nigerian music, or I'll say African music, I don't even know what to say, Afrobeats, as people call it. It's mostly about nothing. There's no substance to it. Like nobody's talking about anything. It's just a great time. But at the end of the day, life is not an amazing time. No matter how nice you want of a time you're having now, or you had at some point, or you plan to have, you're still going to face life. For me, I feel like music should be that. Music should be the essence of the artist. Me speaking for myself, the artist is a person who has good days, bad days, great days, and worse days. And for me, if I give you something like this with my face on it and my name, then I should be giving you that experience.
Yeah.
That should be a window for you to see some of that essence.
A guy wrote, after he will say Nigeria don't like him, while he spread hate on Nigeria in any given opportunities. Another said, that is pure fact. If you have not got the real life experience, you can't understand him either. Burna Boy is not capping. Another person opined, when the ovation is loud, one can begin to think others are not doing enough. That's why they are not as big. Be humble and grateful, bro. Indeed. Next on What's Trending, we have United States President Joe Biden has reacted to the death of Russian mercenary boss Yevgeny Prigozhin, leader of the Wagner Group. On Wednesday, August 23rd, Russia's Agency for Air Transport said Prigozhin, leader of the private security outfit, was among the passengers of a flight that crashed and burst into flames immediately on Wednesday. All 10 passengers aboard the plane were reported dead. His death comes 2 months after he launched a mutiny towards the Kremlin, which he changed his mind at the last moment after a deal was struck between him, Russian President Putin, and Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. According to Biden, little happens in Russia without the knowledge of Vladimir Putin. Speaking with CNN, Biden said he wasn't surprised that the Russian mercenary may have been targeted. You may recall I was asked about this, Biden said, referencing comments he made in July in which he said Prigozhin should be worried about his safety following the failed mutiny. I said I will be careful what I wrote in. I don't know for a fact what happened, but I'm not surprised, CNN quoted Biden as saying. Adrian Watson, U.S. National Security spokesperson, also reacted to Prigozhin's speculated death, saying it would not be a surprise given his history with Putin. The mercenary leader's whereabouts had been unclear following his rebellious stint until the news of the plane crash broke. His last reported location appeared to be in Africa when he posted his first video address since his uprising in Russia. A netizen commented, Putin said he can forgive anything except betrayal. I fear who doesn't fear Putin. In his next life, he won't go against his country. The guy said, never try to outshine your master. That's according to 48 laws of power. Another guy said, you can be rogue and not intelligent. That is the Wagner Group's leader in summary. Lastly, onto a funny video of a little girl who is a rancher. Take a look. She sure showed the horse who the boss is. I'm sure most adults can do that. And that is all on Newsfeed today on Trust TV. Follow us and subscribe to all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Bye.